Shalom Aleichem, good night Shabbos, Pashas Baalei Nigla, to ignite the lights, to ignite the neshama, the soul. I remind myself of Reb Yoel, our mashpia. One of the things that is not spoken about, or maybe not known even, is that as being part of the Anholos HaYeshiva, the administration of the Lubavitch Yeshiva, at various times, in various positions, he was called upon by the Rebbe through the senior mashpiyim and menahalim, Shmuel Levitin, Rabbi Jacobson, Rabbi Mentlik, Rabbi Tenenbaum, to assist particular students. At the time, in the 50s and 60s, in the Lubavitch Yeshiva, Bedford and Dean, and 770, there weren't only Lubavitcher Bochurim students. There were also Bochurim that weren't Chabad, that didn't come from Lubavitcher homes. They came from Hungarian homes, Polish homes, Romanian homes, Litvischer homes. Litvischer, there were much less, but there were a few. And the Hanhola wanted them to become Lubavitch. They're learning, in other words, but they didn't do it like, become Lubavitch. They did it in the sense of, in the edler way, in the refined way. And who did they call upon? In particular was Rabbi Mentlik for Nigla, for Gemara. He was the Rosh Yeshiva, and Reb Yoel for Chassidus. Reb Yoel, with his smarts and his warmth and his Chassidishkeit, and also the fact that he didn't have to take attendance and give marks on tests and discipline the students. That wasn't at all his job description. So naturally, it was much easier for a student to feel good about him because he didn't kind of demand anything of you except learn chassidus, daven with kavanah, ask me your questions. So he was able to have the freedom and the ability to be like buddy with a student, you know. But nevertheless, the other administrators of the yeshiva wanted that these boys from non-Lubavitcher homes should ultimately become chassidim of the Rebbe and Lubavitcher chassidim, and to learn chassidus and go to Fabrengens. And in particular, if they saw someone was a keli, someone who was like, mukhshar, someone who had the smarts, had the heart, had the sensitivity to go in that direction, they put more emphasis on that type of a student. It's right, it's not right, I'm just telling you the way it was and the way it is in many yeshivas. And I could give an entire lecture on how this was in the Litvish yeshivas going back to Slobodka and Rabbi Hutner and Chaim Berlin. This is not my chiddush. This has been already documented by Nathan Kamenetsky in Making of a Godel. And trust me, it was a lot worse then, where they actually, did ploys to get the better Bochurim, the better students their yeshiva, and those that weren't so great, they didn't mind if they went to other yeshivas. It was a whole ceremony. But we'll leave that for another time. I've written about that, and I think it's a very important piece of historical information regarding the yeshiva world. I wrote about it particularly in my book, Rabbi Hutner and the Rebbe. Anyway, so there's one Bocher, and I happened to meet him this week, the younger man, he's older than me, and he told me that At his wedding, Reb Yoel came. It was in Borough Park, and after the wedding, Reb Yoel sat down and fabrengt. You're talking about, 11, 12, 1 in the morning, and there were a lot of Lubavitcher Bocherim because he learned in 770, but he didn't become a Hesa Lubavitcher, and he didn't marry a Lubavitcher wife, but very fine Talmud Chochem. So he said Reb Yoel was fabrengt. He says, and he was fabrengt with me, and about me, and he said this vort, and this is the line. He says, a soldier, darf man lernen, and you have to teach him wie zu schießen, how to shoot the gun, what position, what height, what angle. That comes from a superior, from the one who trains the soldiers. Aber schießen allein, das darf der Soldat. But the shooting itself, the actual shooting, that is required and done only by the soldier. That no one can train you how to do. You have to shoot. And I'm thinking about this vort. What a rich vort. What a deep insight into everything that we look to do in our life. You can have great teachers and great rabbis and great parents and great employers. But when push comes to shove, you have to do it. Only you can shoot. No one can shoot for you. I was saying this to this individual. This was after he was asked to do a mitzvah dance with the kala, with his kala, and he didn't want to do it because he was already very, Lubavitch in a sense that the minhagim he accepted, and this is not a minik Chabad to do a mitzvah dance with the kala, with the bride, but because of his parents, his in-laws, he didn't want to rock the boat, and it was a sensitive issue. So he went over for a second, took the handkerchief, and just gave a twist to the right and the left, and went back. But Reb Yoel happened to see this, and this flipped him out. But flipped him out that when he was fabrengt, this was the nekuda. In other words, certain things only you could do. And if you come to a determination, this is not what I want, what I want to do because it's not the right thing for me as a Lubavitcher, don't do it. He didn't. Reb Yoel didn't specify the way I'm doing that. And I know you're going to think probably, well, it's going to cause machlekes, and it's not going to be shalom, and they're just getting married. I understand, and it's an issue. But let's take it away from the particular situation. The message is, no one can implement your Lubavitchkeit and your Chassidishkeit. Only you. You can have teachers and mashpiyim, but at the end of the day, it's you that needs to shoot. And when I was thinking about this, I reminded myself of another student in the 60s. At 16, he already had smicha. I know him. He was very learned. And he told me that Reb Yoel learned with him for many months Gemara in the afternoon, because the Anhola, the yeshiva, the older administrators asked Reb Yoel to put his eye on this bacher, to be mekarav them to Chassidus, to bring them closer to Chassidus. So this is what we see, the point I was saying earlier, that Reb Yoel's job, in a sense, was to reach out and show these, strong Baalei Nigla, these strong students of Gemara, who have less interest in Chassidus and Fabrengens and in the Rebbe, to be makar of them. And with this bacher, he learned the Gemara, and the person told me Reb Yoel is a Baki and Shas. That's the conclusion he came to. It's Gimel Tammuz in a few weeks. It's a time to really think about what can we do and what will we do for our Rebbe. And only you can do it. Only we can do it. No one can do it for us. So may Hashem help that as we light the menorah within us, the neshama, we should endeavor to make a achlata nafshis, a soul resolution to make a change within, to be a chassidish yid, a good yid, a lebedik yid, with Avas Yisrael, and anything that smells of politics and machloikis and fights and argumentation and divisiveness, don't go there. Leave it alone. Forget about it, and just go the Yisod. Just go towards the goal. Bias Mashiach Tzidkenu. That's the Rebbe tells us that is the goal, nothing less. And we're doing a good job at it, but we can do a better job. L'chaim, everyone should have a gewaltige Shabbos and Zeicha Zayin to the Geula Shleima B'Korav Mamash.